Hey guys, it's a perfect day to do some seed starting. It is, by the time this video gets up, it'll be the 1st of March, first week of April. March is leaving like a lion, not a lamb. We'll show you a picture. Anyhow, so we're starting some seeds, and the first thing you do is you moisten your seed starting mix, not potting soil mix. So always use seed starting mix. It doesn't matter. It can be any brand you want, but seed starting is the important thing. And then you just add enough water to where it holds its form, but it's not being wet. Now I've already got a lot of trays set up, but I want to show you basically how if this was even one of these trays, I do the same process. I put the soil in the pot and give it a little tap. And these pots, I'll take a couple of them over. They're going to be used individually for my morning glories, which I won't get potted till tomorrow. The morning glory seeds are these little seeds right here, and they need to soak at least 24 hours in water to soften their outer layer. You can see how hard they are. Now I tried nicking one. They say you can nick them, and I found it dangerous. So don't try and nick one. That outer shell is really hard. Last year I started my morning glory seeds and I did them in water. So I'm going to do it again this way, in warm water, 24 hours. Then tomorrow what I'll do, I'll put them in the soil. They'll go downstairs on a heat mat, and I'll cover this with saran wrap or plastic wrap to create a moisture dome, because all of the trays I'm using today do have, which is nice. I like these trays. They have a tray that once your seeds are up and started, you can put water into the tray. They can soak up the water, and they come with a moisture dome. This is a new tray for me. It also has a vent, so if you start getting too much moisture, because you don't want mold to start growing on this, you want ventilation, you can adjust that. So what we're planting today, I have 3 trays here full of soil. I've already started one just to cut down on the repetition of what we're doing today. We're planting snapdragons, 2 different types, Liliput Zinnias, which are 12 to 18 inches tall. They're tinier ones. These are for the front of my border this year. I'm starting them earlier to hopefully get flowers to bloom a little sooner. Last year, and I did a little test last year. I started some of my giant zinnias inside to get a head start, and when I planted them at the end of May, I also planted my zinnias directly in the soil. What I found is my giants did great directly sown in the soil, so I'm not going to start them inside. And I might find out for next year, if I like these little Liliputs, that I may be able to direct sow them too. If there's any left over, I'm going to direct sow them and see how quickly they start producing flowers. And then I'm also planting Hollyhocks for the first time. I've never started them from seed. They also need to be started in water at least an hour before you plant them, which I've done here, to soften their outer coat. And these Hollyhocks are biennial, which means they probably won't bloom this season, but they will put on a lot of leafy growth, and then next season we'll get the blooms. And a lot of times they can become perennial by dropping their seeds. We'll just see. But this is something I remember having Hollyhocks growing up and in gardens around me, and these look beautiful. They're the doubles, so we'll see how well they do. So let's get started. I've already started snapdragons. These are my apple blossoms. Cost of silver. You need tags, and these will be my apple blossoms. Let me show you how small these seeds are, and these from Johnny Seeds. These are amazingly small. That is the seed, and I'm putting 2 in each little cell. I've watched several people use a toothpick in water to tap it and put it in the soil. It wasn't working for me. So what I've done with real dry hands, I've done all the trays except these last 3, these cells. I'm taking and just dropping it on the soil. These seeds also have to be surface sown, which means you don't put them in a little hole. And I'm putting 2 in a cell. These are very, very tiny. And I put those in there. I'm going to put these back in their little packet. I'm going to do this. Look how they've kind of stuck to them. So I've got to be careful. I'll fix that when we're done. Shake them all back into their little packet. All right. And those are the Potomac apple blossom. And I'll put pictures of what these are going to look like when they're in full bloom. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to top these with some vermiculite to keep the moisture in and then allow them to come up without any obstruction of soil. And they, like we said, these like to be surface sown. We'll do that. Put a little bit on top just to cover the seed. Okay. And then when I'm all done, we'll go back through and I'm going to moisten the vermiculite. So those are planted, my snapdragons. These are my Liliput little zinnias. Look at the difference in size. This makes it so easy. That's an easy seed to plant. So I've done all of my seeds so far in this tray. It's a mixed group, and I've just taken my little toothpick and made they like to be a 1/4 inch deep. So I've made a little spot. I'm going to stick it right in there, cover it up. These are easier. Definitely easier to plant. And like I said, I'm going to direct sow the Liliputs in a spot and see how quickly I get blooms in comparison to starting them sooner. So they're done. I won't be putting vermiculite on top of them. I just will keep this soil nice and moist. You can see where I planted one there. Make certain that all your seeds are covered up. Looks good. Okay, these are my zinnias. I've got their tag. In here are my hollyhocks. And they like to be surface sown. So, that's hot. No, don't touch that. Okay. They've been in water for an hour. So I'm going to lay them right on top. At least an hour. Just like that. I might be able to see if this will work. Yeah. Lay that on top. Ah, that's pretty handy. Drop that right on top of the soil. There's one there. All right, hollyhocks, do your thing. So I will continue those, and these hollyhocks will then get the vermiculite put on top of them like I did with the snapdragons. Keep them moist. It'll be the 1st of April, and our last frost date, they say from the 21st to 31st of May. We want the ground temperature to be about 55 degrees for all of these annuals. And so it just depends on when I'll get these planted out. So we're going to, after we've done this, now these little pots, these I mentioned, I've got my tag in them. These are my morning glories, and I will put a shot on the screen too about how I use them. And I like them just for their leaves. They get these beautiful heart-shaped leaves. The flowers are lovely. I'm not concerned about the flower. I just like the leaf because it really softened our arbor out the window. Take a look out there, because you can see that it's snowing right now, but you can only see the top of the arbor over the dwarf Alberta there. It's pretty tall. But it covered that up and softened the whole edge. I hope the daffodils, they don't look too droopy. Anyhow, I grow these just to cover up the compost area, the black fence around the compost, and it did a beautiful job. And if I get flowers, fine. Last year I did a white one, which is really pretty. And if I get any of these variety of colors, that would be a bonus. But the leaves being heart-shaped, it just softens those two structures in the garden. So I won't plant these till tomorrow until these have really softened up. So what I'll do is I'll meet you downstairs. I'll show you where I'm going to put them on the heat mats and where my lights are. I'll meet you downstairs. So guys, we're downstairs and I've got my setup here. The lights are set up, the heat mats are on, ready to go. You do not turn your lights on until you see, after you see the leaves come through, the first green leaves. Once you see sprouting, then you can turn off your heat mat. You can take the dome off and you turn your lights on. And you want to keep your lights 2 to 3 inches above your tray. And then you'll be probably lifting the lights up depending on how tall your plants get. So for right now, we're just going to put them on the heat mat. And once I get the rest of the trays down here, I like to even tuck them in a little more and use this plastic cover to really keep any drafts out and keep them nice and warm so that their germination will happen even sooner. You will have to check their moisture by keeping them nice and moist. You don't want to let them dry out, so you need to check on them every 2 to 3 days. And I will check on mine every couple days because they all have different germination rates. So we'll see which one starts first, and I'll keep you posted on that. A couple weeks ago, I did start, let me just take a second and show you. This is my Dahlia Gideon. It has sprouted, and with the dahlias, you take them off the heat mat and just under light. This is Terza, which hasn't sprouted yet, so we'll see if it comes back. Hopefully it will. These are my Caladiums. They say they could take up to about 2 weeks to see any sprouting, so I haven't seen any sprouting in these, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed. But they stay on the heat mat and under lights until we take them outside. They're tropical. So that's my little update, and let's just hope that we start seeing germination in the next week, and I'll keep you posted on that. Thanks for watching Gardening on the Westwork. This is Zone 6. And that's why our frost date is May 21st to May 31st. And so we won't get any of our annuals in the ground till then. That's it for this afternoon. We'll see you later. Bye.